So as promised, today we're going to talk about how to date blondes, Russians and foreigner girls in India. A lot of guys, especially Indian men, they want to date all these, blonde women, Russian women, American women, European women, and think that, oh fuck, I have to change my country for that. But that's not it. I had this phase where I was just dating a lot of blondies and, I think I was 21 around that time. It was an excellent phase and I want all of you guys to try that. And that's why we have this video today where we're going to break down our own experience of coming back to India. You came from the UK, I came from Singapore, and breaking down the Indian dating scenario. And not only the Indian dating scenario, how to date a foreigner in India.
As we know that we live in a globalized world, right? And there are people everywhere. You don't need to travel and book expensive tickets to go and date or meet foreigner women. I have a lot of friends who are in a very long-term relationship with the foreigners, and they've met them in India.
Yep, that's true.
Places, which we're gonna.
I think a lot of it comes down to the location. Now, if you're sitting in Bihar and you're thinking, hey man, I don't want to date a blonde Russian girl. I mean, there are ways you can do that, not date, but there are ways you can probably meet her. But if you want to date a blonde Russian girl, I think you got to target the metropolitans. And you can actually go deeper into this by thinking about, okay, what are the expat parties in every city, whether it's Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore,
Kolkata,
Goa,
Chennai, Bangalore.
I don't know about Chennai and Kolkata, but I've seen, in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, Goa, all of these places have expat parties, which basically mean people who are, working abroad, they have these parties just for them. Or they have these modeling parties where they call a lot of models from different countries. And we also released a video on how we approach a bunch of models. You guys should definitely check it out. If you haven't already, I'll add a link over here. But that being said, so there are these parties that are happening which has a lot of expats. These are these yoga groups that you can target, especially in Goa, right? And how do you go about dating them? There are these places which has a lot of backpackers. Like in Delhi, we have this place called Paharganj, right? And so what you need to do is you need to find out locations where they're congregating. And by congregating, I mean the embassy area probably, which is Chanakyapuri. You can go out, go for grocery shopping over there. There are places.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. I mean, the roads are very clean. There are a lot of trees.
The point is, you can do anything. You can walk over there, go for grocery shopping. You can do anything over there, and you can just start having a conversation with people. Or these upscale apartments, upscale places. For example, the one I was living in Noida, it was pretty good. And this place was, I think, the super tech, and they have a lot of foreigners also staying there. So go to high-end places like even the colonies, right? Go for a walk over there. Go to places where they congregate a lot. Go to nearby modeling agencies, and all of these places you can actually talk to foreigners. And if you actually be in these kind of environments, your dating life is going to change with the quality of women that are in these environments. So that is a big thing. You need to expose yourself to these environments. And there's a pool party that happens in Delhi every time, and it's a great pool party. There's a bunch of people over there, all foreigners over there, all foreigner crowd. There's embassy parties that happen, which I go to frequently. And all of these parties, I just have to be there, man. And of course, the conversation is going to happen, and my dating life is automatically with like really attractive women. Like I'm automatically placed with really attractive
Absolutely.
women.
It's hands down. I think the first thing is the location at the end of
Definitely.
the day. I mean, wherever you go, like even the simplest things you can do, you can go to a good places, you can walk there, go for a stroll in a very good, if you in London, I used to go to Hyde Park. In New York, I used to go to Central Park, right? There are some places even in Delhi, like close to Lodi Garden and all that. You meet a lot of foreigners there who come for a walk and all that. Strike up a conversation, do the cold approaches that we teach you, and I think you can seal the deal.
Yeah.
As Arunav has spoken about location, I think the whole idea when you're in a location, number one thing you need to have is a good perception of yourself. Okay, just because you're an Indian guy, or just because they're racist foreigners, some news you get to know in some
Instagram reel or some
channels
shit.
or it is not what it is, guys. At the end of the day, I think it's all about the perception. You need to have that strong mentality that, listen, I am XYZ person, I'm doing well for myself, I'm a well-spoken guy, I'm confident, I'm well-dressed, I'm well-groomed, XYZ, anything, whatever it is. And you have that confidence and that mindset to go and talk to a girl. That's a perception you need to have.
So I think people need to have like a positive self-identity. I mean, that's the major thing, because I think a lot of it comes down to how you think about yourself, how you think about the other person. Like that is the framing part of it.
I think it's all about the perception. So I think what you perceive against the state transference has been,
True.
So perception that you have of yourself is what you're going to transfer to a foreigner girl that you're going to talk to. And listen, it does not matter what you look like. It does not matter what's your height. Even if you're a fucking 5'3" or a 5'4" guy, it does not matter. I've seen short Indian men date, tall, attractive women. So at the end of the day, it's not about looks, guys. Now I see a lot of you guys commenting on the videos that we are very good looking. Listen, it does not matter at the end of the day. I've seen a lot. In Delhi, you see a lot of ugly looking guys with super attractive supermodels. Right?
That's true.
So at the end of the day, looks does not matter, but what really matters is your state of mind.
Your state of mind and you taking the initiative, I think. That's not a lot of people actually take that initiative to put themselves in a position where they're actually approaching or put themselves in a location, surround themselves with attractive women, and that's what you need to do. Now, one thing about perception is understanding the culture will also help you have the right perception.
At the end of the day, guys, how you can improve your perception of yourself? Number one, self-belief. Believe that you can go out and you can talk to a lot of foreigner girls. Number two is working on yourself, in terms of your communication skills. So you have to be communicative, even if you don't speak the language, which we're gonna get to, by the way. You still have to talk. You need to make sense. You need to make her laugh. You need to try and stay congruent in your communication with her. So at the end of the day, guys, it's all about congruence, right? And your self-belief, which leads to a greater perception of yourself. You have to believe in yourself that you can go out and you can conquer, you can talk to as many as foreigner women and seal the deal. So if you guys want to know more details into it, I've released a video last week. It must be somewhere on the screen right now. Click on that, have a look, and see how I'm doing it.
And I think the best part in that video is you approach a bunch of girls. So that video is actually going to teach you a lot about how to handle a group of girls as well. I think you approach like 5-6 models, right? Foreigner models.
Supermodels.
And it's amazing. The video is amazing. So you should check it out if you've missed it by any chance. I'll add a link over here. Just click the link and go to that video. Now, moving forward, I think a lot of it also comes down to understanding their culture, understanding their beliefs, right? Understanding a little bit about their cuisines, understanding a little bit about the language. And I'm not telling you to, read, watch a lot of documentaries, though I do that. Okay, I do that.
It's good to do that.
And I would watch documentaries on the Korean culture, on the Chinese culture, on, European culture, on American culture. And these documentaries on the Russian culture, right? And these documentaries, these movies, I'll also watch a lot of movies from different places, right? And all of this is going to help me a lot because I learned some phrases as well, and that also helps. We're going to talk about that. But what happens is I understand the culture. For example, the Southeast Asian culture is a bit more feminine, I would say. Like even the woman, like if you have like really deep eye contact, they're going to get like a little stifled, right? But if you go to US and Europe, they're going to be loud. They're going to be a little louder, right? They're going to put their opinions forward. They're going to be more bold.
They're more direct with their
directive with their approaches. And if you think about the Chinese culture, they're all communist. They're all amongst each other. Like I was studying in a Chinese-dominated college. So understanding their culture will also give you an idea about how to do the approach. Like if you want to be more politer, be a little bit more socially calibrated in terms of how you're talking. Like you cannot talk being very authoritative. If you approach a girl from Southeast Asia and you're very authoritative, you're very loud, the girl will not be able to relate with it.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, listen, it's a wet dream for a lot of women out there. When you understand their culture, listen, I think there's an instant attraction.
There's an instant attraction, and that's what I realized approaching all of these women from different countries. The moment you make them understand that you know a little bit more than the other guy about their culture, they're like, oh fuck, how does he know this? For example, a blonde comes,
one step ahead of a lot of guys out there. Even let's just say if that girl is actually talking to a guy who does not know shit about her culture, and then when she meets you, who speaks about her culture, who knows a little bit about her culture, that's like a.
I'll just give a very small example, man. Imagine if a extremely hot blonde girl comes to you and she's like, hey, listen, Diwali is my favorite festival. I wanna, I love the whole mythology and how the whole story about Diwali, and it's my favorite, festival. I mean, how you want to feel? You want to feel that, oh fuck, she's different, she's more aware, she's socially intelligent, right? She knows a lot about my culture, and you're going to feel more connected to her in that point of time.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think that is.
And it also increases emotional spike in women because at the end of the day, because see, you're being a very respectable person at the end of the day. But when you are aware of her culture, when you talk about her culture, it raises a lot of emotions in her, and that's exactly where you want any woman woman from any race, any society. You need her there.
Exactly.
You need to get her to that state.
I think an understanding over here is that attraction works similarly for all women of all types, of all cultures, but you can still have these few things which in your arsenal which are going to make you a beast when you're approaching foreigners.
One step ahead.
One step ahead than the other guys. That's what the growth thing is all about.
And now that we've spoken about culture, he's given us insights about the culture. What is the first thing that comes to our mind when we talk about culture? It's the language at the end of the day. Every place. I think India has like some fucking 300 languages. That's what I get told. I'm like 300 languages. I'm not even aware. I think the only language I know is a couple of languages. But there's like literally every 30 kilometers have a new dialect.
Wow.
It actually has a new dialect. And then there's a new language. So guys, I mean, you don't need to know all the languages in the world to attract women. But when you have a bit of idea about few words that you can use, flirtatious words.
I'll tell you one thing, Arant. There was this one book I read in my journey which was like different phrases, different famous phrases from all the languages. So you can learn a couple of languages on the top of your head, the woman you're attracted to. For me, it was like Russian, Brazilian, Chinese, Japanese, right? Just some phrases. And man, as you use those phrases,
that actually works.
That works
it works like a rock.
So understand, you don't need to study that language. Just study that fucking book.
Just few words at the end of the day. And listen, you don't need to know the language to attract women. You've seen in all these infills, right? There are certain phrases that I'm using for an emotional spike that, oh my God, this guy can say hi in Russian. This guy can say hi in Brazilian. So at the end of the day, little bit, and Turkish as well. So, when you raise that emotion by just speaking little bit of language and getting to her emotional state where she's struggling to speak your language, and you struggling to speak her language, there's a certain level of relatability again, and that actually again raises that sexual attraction with a woman, because this guy he's actually trying.
And one thing I want to share with this is the story of my best pickup so far I've done in my whole journey, which was Russian girl in Goa. Could not speak a word of English. She could not speak a word of English. And a lot of men watching this, if you come across a girl, if you approach a girl who cannot speak a word in English, what would you do? You'd probably run off. Right?
You'd be like, okay.
And I was in a club. It's Club Cabana, right? This mountain club, like it's on a mountain, on the hilltop, right? And we're not getting any signal over here. And I'm like, listen, let's go to the VIP section. There's a washroom in the VIP section going up. So I'm like, let's go to the VIP section. Let's go up. We might get some signal. I want to talk to you, all right? And I have the translator open on my phone, and I'm literally translating shit. And this was not the first time I had done this. I'd done this once in Singapore as well, but this was the second time I was doing this, and I was just amazed that the girl was so attractive. She stayed with me. She spent a lot of time with me. We traveled, across India. And the funny thing was that we didn't speak each other's language.
Yeah.
And that was the most peaceful and the most beautiful relationship or situationship I've been in, because there was no arguments, there was no fights. She was not demanding at all. Yeah. She didn't speak the language, and we went to the hills after that, and we lost the network over there, so there was no speaking as well.
And that's exactly a very similar story like him. I dated a girl from Chile, and I met her in Europe somewhere where I was traveling, and she's from Chile. And what language does they speak? Like some sort of Portuguese, but it's kind of like a Portuguese that you don't really get to understand. It's very different from the mainstream Portuguese, by the way, because even the Spanish they speak in Mexico is a lot more different than the mainstream Spanish. So at the end of the day, we were talking English, hand gestures. You go there,
I go here.
I come
switch
here.
the light off.
You want to drink tea? So
that was the communication.
See, listen, you're making a girl work for it and you're working for it. I think that's fucking hot. Okay?
Yeah.
And I think that's the most beautiful thing that you can actually bring in with a woman. And hey guys, language is not the most important thing. Just learning little bit of phrases, little bit as he suggested. A little bit of words like just say hi. So Privyet is hi. Okay, Chesh is high in Poland.
Anyways, I'm gonna add a book so they can
exactly.
That.
So anything here and there, learning how to say thank you, shishie, in Chinese. So at the end of the day, a couple of things that you can pick up, and guys, that's gonna take you miles ahead in your dating game, especially when it comes to foreigner women.
And I think one last thing which really matters is the social and emotional intelligence. And whatever we spoke about is actually going to make you more socially intelligent. It's going to make you more emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
And the girl is going to feel that, oh, this guy is way different than the other Indian men I've met. Now, also one understanding that I got, meeting a lot of these embassy crowd, they have been trained, like foreigners working in India, they've been trained. They have a guidebook. that okay, this is how you have to stay away from creeps, and that people will try to do this, people will try to rob you and shit. So that's their preconceived mindset that it's not a safe country. So one thing I realized is if you are polite in your tone, if you're respectful, if you don't invade their personal space, if you're not like, hey, let's go, if you're not very aggressive, it's gonna work out. And if you show them your nice side instead of just being a dick to them and just being like, oh, she's from a different country, so she's easy or something like that, it's gonna make you a lot more socially intelligent, it's gonna make you a lot more emotionally intelligent. And if you understand what the girl is going through and what the girl has been trained about, and I understand you guys are watching this, that you guys are safe guys who approach in a socially calibrated way because you've seen the bro thing, you've followed the bro thing, and you've learned this as a skill. But you still need to understand what the woman has been trained for. She's been trained to reject all the creeps, not talk to anyone, because of course it's going to be unsafe for her if she's talking to everyone, and that's why she might look a little skeptical once you approach her. So be prepared for that.
Right.
But once she understands that this guy's socially intelligent, this guy's emotionally intelligent, he knows my language, and you meet her in the right location where she's more freer rather than just chasing her down the street.
Exactly. And there's another interesting point that came to our mind. By the way, we didn't prepare that point, it just came to my mind and we're going to add that. Is number one thing is that you need to respect her culture and you need to respect your own culture. Don't try to be somebody else, like one of those guys, Indian men who go abroad, facade, oh, my culture is rubbish. No, you come from your own culture.
Exactly,
you have to be very respectful of your own culture, and you need to be respectful of her culture. Listen, whatever your culture is, if you're respectful of your own culture, anybody, not even that woman, anybody around you will take you seriously.
Would respect you.
Because at the end of the day, I see a lot of Indian guys who go abroad, oh, Indian society is fucking rubbish. India is
so
trash. India is this, India is that. Guys, if you don't respect your own culture, if you don't respect your own country, how is anybody going to take you seriously?
And I think a lot of guys do this just trying to fit in the crowd, because of course you go abroad, you hear all these things that Indians are like wobbleheads. You wobble your head every time. There's cows roaming on the streets, and people don't have a clear idea of how developed it has become now.
It has become, and be proud, guys. You guys come from the most beautiful culture in this world, which has more than 300 languages, and the most important thing is that we still respect and we love each other. A guest is like our fucking god. Respect that. Love your culture. Any damn person, not even the woman. Okay, this is like a broad thing altogether. Any damn person is gonna respect you, and the girl is gonna open her legs.
That's a good one. Okay. All right. If you guys want to literally improve your dating life, if you guys want battle-tested strategies that has worked with thousands of men before, all you need to do is sign up for a masterclass, and I'll add the link to that masterclass in the pinned comment below. We're working on this masterclass, which is going to be sometime next week. So join that masterclass because that literally is going to blow your mind. We've worked out a lot for that. We've gone in fields, recorded a lot of in fields, done a lot of boot camps, traveled whole of India, and just being fucking researching on this. So join the masterclass, do not miss out on it. Save the time and date, click the pinned comment, key in your full name, your email address, and you will register for the masterclass.
Because at the bro thing, we do the real shit what real men do. We don't do trash talk, we do the real business. Signing out.